Hey, what's going on? I think I'm on. I'm trying the live stream thing again. Uh, trying out some new technology. But anyway, let's get straight to it. It's wintertime now. Wintertime in a lot of places, or I guess relatively everywhere. And one of the coolest things that I like to do in wintertime is to bust out the blade baits, the ice jigs, the the lipless crankbaits, the tail spinners, and I do some unique stuff with them. But I'm going to shoot you some of these that I fish with out here. I got some of the new, mega bass. See if I can get this up in the camera. This Dynas, or they call them Dyna Response or something like that. These are awesome little blade baits that I use. Little rattle traps. This is a Yozuri, but I also use. They got a Jackal TN50 now that looks sweet. And then Strike Pro. That's my all-time favorite. Strike Pros are pretty sweet. They got a little chamber inside. Those are some of the blade baits I like to use. These are interesting too. Here's I think they call it, what is this? The Kyburn. I'm experimenting with this just around, especially trees, tail spinners, and then of course spoons, which I don't have any in this box right now, but spoons. But here's one thing you do with these things. I mean, now you're in wintertime, and fish are like moving off. They're chasing bait. You get the water temperature approaching that 55 degrees, which in some areas of the country, crawdads start going into their little haunts to in like a more hibernetic state. But anyway, so you're starting to key on a lot more bait fish. Not that they won't eat a jig or anything, but this is always fun because you can go find them schooled up over, some deep structure, points or trees, cover, whatever. But you can go in there and video game fish. And I have a little video of me doing this and the equipment that I'm utilizing, and I'm going to show you that right now here in a second. So let's go. I'm going to go ahead and pop this on. I'm going to grab this rod, and you can check this out.
You're in all hell out here.
I'm going to go ahead and move. Just experimenting with this a little bit here. Let's get up front. So here we go. Okay, so here I am. I'm on Pal. I'm on Lake Pal, and I'm doing what I'm talking about. This time I got a spoon. You notice on this, I actually have a. Let me just so you can hear me. I actually have a. I'm using. Whoa, we're getting a little echo here. Hang on, one quick. Okay, I'm actually using spinning rod for this tactic, which a lot of guys. I mean, 90% of guys don't do that. They use, casting. And here's what spinning equipment gives you. This is why it gives you an advantage. You can instantaneously drop on these fish. Hang on, there's a striper. Let's see. And you got my dog. He loves largemouth, smallmouth. He doesn't care. Stripers, he's all about them. Or pike, But right there, okay. Okay, right there, you just seen me. I'm actually looking at the graph. This is a couple years. I'm looking at the graph, and am I still playing that? Or no, I'm looking at the graph there, and I can see they're stacked in there. It's about 60 foot of water. With a casting rod, if I'd have used that, I'd been stripping line out. It'd take me a while to get down to those fish, and they're moving around. I mean, they're pushing shad around. So with my spinning rod, I just flip the bell, and that thing, you're talking about a bait like this, or a spoon with the equivalent weight. It's even more aerodynamic. It just shoots down there as quickly as possible. You can watch it on the graph. It just it goes right down there, 60 feet, no time. I'm in the fish's face. And then the drag system is really nice too on the spinning rods. I feel like I got more control. The only thing you got to do is you got to make sure you have a nice stiff rod, and then you can upsize your line a little bit. Because you're snapping this thing, and you got to make sure you got good knots. Because when you're snapping this and you hook into that's a striper. Now I'm showing you striper footage, but at the same time, this principle and these things apply to largemouth and smallmouth, and I've replicated it. This is just good footage. I just like watching because Lake Powell's a special spot for me, and when you get on a striper school like that, and you're just every cast dropping down there watching it. It's amazing. But you could do this at Table Rock. You could do this. I've seen it done at Mead, Lake Mead, which I always talk about because I love that lake too. You can go across the country, wherever you get these winter schools, or even in the summertime, this isn't just a winter tactic, but now that we're in winter, this is, an awesome time to do this technique. And it'll be, usually it's massively more effective than a lot of other techniques. But anyway, I'm gonna shoot some more of this on here. Oh, dang it, I still haven't got this down. You can see some of these stripers, and you can see how you get them hooked. I'm able to fight them in even with the spinning rod. And you're talking about a 3-4 pound striper, they fight like you would not believe. And you can see some of the background. This is why I like Lake Powell. It's this beautiful place, and there's nobody around. Of course, I almost died on this trip because there's that storm coming in, and it got real nasty. But you can see how you can utilize the spinning rod. Of course, there's fish following it up here, but you can drop instantaneously, which is that's just such a big advantage that if you just beef up your tackle, I would go straight spinning gear on any of these vertical presentations. But I never had any issues, and these are pretty feisty stripers here, very healthy. But like I said, the same principle applies to largemouth. In this case, I'm using a spoon. And in fact, this is you can get these spoons at Bass Pro, the ones I'm using, and they're Cabela's actually. Cabela's, and actually they're Cabela's branded. They're pretty awesome. But I only have you can see those stripers there. I had to leave on this particular day. I know it's not about the tactic. I had to leave this particular day and make a 40-mile run back to Bullfrog Marina. And that storm, you could see in that last piece of footage there coming in, which I wasn't paying attention to because I was sitting there blasting these stripers. And anyway, that storm came in, and it was the most unbelievable water I've ever been on, and that includes anywhere. 5-6 foot rollers cross wave and hit off canyon walls, and water coming in there, bilge pumps running. Had my dog, had to hold him down underneath. It was bad. I didn't even know if we were gonna make it, but we did. Anyway, that's the only reason we just had so few stripers. I was on a mega school. But going back to where I was talking about, it's like wintertime. These vertical ice jigs, another one. Okay, the Rapple ice jig, that's big, especially in the Midwest. But vertical presentations, and you'll be able to really utilize your electronics. Now with Panoptics and LiveScope and the coming Humminbird deal, I mean, you're going to really be able to put this bait in front of fish. And one of the best ways to do it, like I said, spinning gear. It's counter what you're taught, casting gear with spoons. But I'm telling you, with spinning gear, instantaneous drop as opposed that you pulling line out. Good drag systems. You can feather line a lot easier when you're fighting fish. The only thing is, you got to beef it up, but you can beef up your rod and your line. But you will see a performance this is a performance enhancing thing. I'm not talking about male performance. I'm talking about fishing, and that is using spinning rod. And of course, now that we're in this winter time, hey, get the blade baits out. Let's do this. And here's what I'd like you to do. Please like and subscribe to this stuff. I'm trying to get some better things going on, and we're going to be doing a lot more fishing stuff, but I'd appreciate it. It really helps me out. I'll talk to you